Yo, yo, yo. You read the title. Let's talk about it. Today we're going to talk about weed. Or I'm going to talk about weed. And just like a huge, huge topic because it was such a big part of like my life and like my sense of self as well. And I feel like it's a pretty convenient time as I just caught some CBD, some papers and stuff. Haven't done that in I don't know how long. But yeah, give you a little backstory. First time I smoked weed, I was like 15, I think. Had a great time, fucking loved it. Smoked it a few times back when I lived in Italy. It was like some trash ass weed, but had a blast either way. Then moved to Brussels, and that's where like it really started popping off. First year was just like me and my friend, one of my friends, shout out Peter. Me and him would just like get baked, maybe like once a week or whatever. It was like a special occasion thing. We would go to the gym a lot back then, me and him. So we would like smoke sometimes after or whatever. Just it was like a rare occasion, but it started becoming more and more common. That me and him, I would just go to his house and like while his mom's gone or something, and just spark up, or I don't know, we'll go to like a park or whatever. And the end of that year, this is like 10th grade or like sophomore year for the American school system. And yeah, we had a blast, right? Like a lot of people knew us as that. They smoked for the first time with us at the end of that year, like summer, and like, man, it was crazy. Like back then, every time we would smoke, it was like a crazy, like almost like trip and visuals and feeling and like listening to music and running around, dancing, like, man, dancing like crazy. Just, man, it was mad. Like if I might pop up some videos of those times, but I really had like some crazy experiences. Just like felt so present in the moment and so grateful for everything, and just so amazed at that year in Brussels and all the cool people I met and how I'm just like just living life. You know, it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. And that's the point with this video. The things I'm gonna talk about, like the negative sides of weed. I don't want that to like put down the beauty that it could bring, you know. But regardless, had that time, then progressively just smoked more and more and more until I reached a point where my first year of college, my my one and only year of college, those like first 2 months, it was in the Netherlands, where obviously weed is like completely tolerated, decriminalized, coffee shops everywhere, regulated. And yeah, I spent like all my money on weed. Like the first like week of the month's budget, I just pretty much splashed all my money on weed and like ordering food and stuff. And over time, it just became this thing where it was just like more was needed, more was needed. It was, we weren't even like, we were getting high, but it was such a comfortable feeling of being high that it didn't feel that special. It was just kind of like the usual. And for you to have a special one, you have to smoke so much weed and spend so much money. Like I literally would like wait 3 hours for a plug and go out of my way in the rain and shit, calling, making sure we find like the best deal and the best weed and everything. And yeah, it was just crazy. It was just very full on at that point. And that's when obviously I didn't realize it, but it became like an issue and became kind of like a coping mechanism. You know, if I was bored or I wasn't feeling that great, or yeah, I just, instead of like doing something fun or doing something productive or whatever, like doing something, right, or just like something more productive, I just will just smoke with my friends, you know. Completely like stop the gym, ate way worse food, you get the munchies, you're eating trash ass food. I would see my family less as well, just because I would always be out and about. And don't get me wrong, like I had crazy memories because of it and fun times, and I absolutely don't regret any of that at all. But having said that, weed is like either or, you know. Like weed is whatever you make it, right? So like if you have a positive connection with it and you smoke it sometimes and you use it for creative things and you have the self-control, I think it can be really, really dope. But if you don't, if you just kind of are a person who you just always want more, or like you're just smoking to smoke, like you don't even really know why you do it anymore, it's just like a habit and it just feels cozy and comfortable, you can really enter in that comfort zone. I mean, we had moments where we wouldn't do shit, you know. We would just be, I was living with my friends in kind of like a trap house that year in college, and I mean the first few months I would just wake up, bake up, do jack shit, not explore, not really go meet that many new people. Of course, it was like COVID times and stuff, but that was just like an excuse to back up our habit. And yeah, it was just toxic at one point, you know. It was just like this cycle, you know. Shoot, like you could feel it when you kind of thought about like stopping and stuff. You could feel it like pulling you because I literally had attached it to myself of a like sense of self, you know. People knew me as like the weed guy, and like my name Tony Loud was because of loud, gas, the herb, and a lot of my friendships were made due to those connections that were made in those beautiful moments. But now I felt like we were just kind of like just I don't know, like making each other feel comfortable about our habits that are not that productive and not that good, to be honest. And yeah, I stopped doing that at one point. It was really tough in that house because obviously most of my homies just kept smoking a lot. And like at first, just like them passing me the J and me just passing it on and not like hitting it, just it was a brain pattern that didn't exist. You know, it was just so hard to escape that. And also, the one thing is like the herb, the weed, the gans, the good weed, the organic weed that is given by Mother Earth, right? That's not really what we're smoking nowadays. We're smoking like some crazy packed up fucking LED lights, pesticides, like super genetically modified. Like it's like that sort of like capitalism more and more and more. It's just like squeezing as much THC out of it, and it's so off balance. Like the THC levels and the CBD levels are so out of balance. The ratio is so wrong. Of course, people are having like crazy mental trips and just like anxiety a lot of people experience, or just like yeah, just it develops crazy brain patterns that are so difficult to escape. And like a lot of laziness comes from it. Like when I stopped, I would always just want to go do stuff, and I felt like my friends were just comfortable baking up. And I'm not saying this to judge anyone, because I did the same things, and nothing is like better or worse. You decide for your own life. But in my opinion, it can lead to a lot of just wasted time and wasted potential, you know. I had a friend as well who he had insomnia, right? And he had to smoke every night to fall asleep. And when he stopped, he was like, man, I've had enough. And obviously, it's better, in my opinion, smoking weed instead of like taking Xanax or some shit. But there's other ways to do it. There's like meditations and practices and breathing methods and things that you can learn. And I'm not, it's harder, you know, and it's hard to say. And again, I don't judge anyone for doing that, but like, I'm glad that he stopped doing that, you know. He was glad as well. I mean, for the first 5 days he stopped, he wasn't sleeping. He would pull up to class with like dark circles around his eyes, and he's like, man, I haven't slept in 5 days. And that's crazy. Like, you can build up an addiction 100%. Anyone who says weed isn't addictive, that's bullshit. Like, just because like its physical properties aren't addictive, it's purely psychological. I mean, most of the weed's effects are psychological, especially the weed we smoke nowadays. It's a lot less of just like the body high and into your body and stuff. So yeah, my point is, weed is what you make of it. You know for yourself. If you're watching this and you're feeling kind of like, damn, like he's kind of like talking to me, you know, like I smoke too much or whatever, you do you. But like, man, like just try it out. Just try slowing down. Try like, because it's a lot of like short-term pleasure, right? Like the whole thing is like on this like self-improvement and trying to grow journey, you kind of have to sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term like benefit, right? And I'm not saying just cut out pleasure at all or like short-term pleasure at all, but like you need to prioritize long-term success or happiness or fulfillment and purpose more than the short-term pleasure. Things, you know, things like waking up earlier, reading instead of going out, or like working out, or just working on your goals while there's a billion distractions out there. It's hard. It's really hard, and weed makes it even harder. Like smoking all the time makes it almost impossible. Like for most people, I know there's some people that can like be very functional and do their things, and that's amazing, you know. But most people, let's be honest, it's not the same. It's harder. It inhibits us, you know, and it inhibits us our laziness and just our insecurities as well, and just our little comfort bubble. I'm just gonna smoke this. I'm just gonna order some food and I'm just gonna bust a nut and jack off and just, you know, I'll go do that tomorrow. And like, man, come on now. Like, it's kind of some pussy shit in my opinion. Like, real talk. And but that's my opinion on weed. You make out of it what you do. Your connection with it is obviously the most important thing, not the actual weed. Just like with anything, you can be addicted to sex, you can be addicted to jacking off, whatever. This is like my journey, like super cut through. I obviously had like many different phases and stuff, but I'm very glad I didn't do. I mean, I don't do that anymore, and I'm not like a stoner or whatever. I don't do that anymore. And then now when I do smoke weed every once in a while, I appreciate it so much. I'm like, wow, this is so, like, it can be so beautiful, and you can go be connected to nature, and there's like so much to learn if you just breathe and let things out of you. But if you're just gonna smoke weed and then just watch Netflix, you just like this, just like watching Netflix, some dumbass, dumbed down show that already makes us fucking dumb as fuck. But now you're in this like state where you're just even more just like, you don't care. You know, you don't care that you're bored. You don't care that you're consuming trash ass content. That's toxic as fuck. Like, it just is, you know. And yeah, that's my opinion. Having said that, I'm gonna go try this CBD. Obviously, this is like pretty much all CBD. It's a lot of just like relaxation. I don't even know. We'll see if like there's like an effect to it or not. I've obviously smoked CBD before, and like I have felt stuff. So we'll see if I like it. If I don't, like, fuck it, I just won't smoke it at all, you know, like, I'll just give it to someone or some shit. But yeah, talk to you later. Much love. Take care of yourself, take care of your habits, and yeah, man, just keep trying to grow. You know, life is about growth, life's about changing and stuff. If you're just doing the same shit you were doing 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and you're here and you're still watching this, it means that something's missing. Something inside of you is telling you that something needs to change, you know. Even if you try to convince yourself that it's all good, like, really, like, dig deep, you know. And if you're not okay with where you're at, that's fine. Like, that's completely fucking fine. But yeah, just one step at a time, get better every day. That's what I'm trying to do. We're not perfect. Just keep trying, and yeah, much love, peace. See y'all.